Area mechanics face an influx of water-damaged vehicles after yesterday's flooding.
Campers and campgrounds are gearing up for what could be a great Memorial Day weekend. I'm Zach Dodge with how much heavy rain and flooding could impact the weekend. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Ottawa County authorities arrest 2 Southeast Kansas jail escapees. This is KOAM News at 6. The suspects, Mark Hopkins and Michael Martzloff, escaped Monday night through a plumbing area in the Columbus, Kansas jail. The suspects, who authorities say were armed at the time of arrest, now face additional charges of aggravated escape from custody. A woman was also arrested following a search warrant yesterday morning for her alleged role in the escape. She is being held without bond on allegations of conspiracy to commit aggravated escape, aiding and abetting, and obstructing justice. Authorities filed charges in connection with the shooting death of an Anderson, Missouri man. Levi Watkins is charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action in the Tuesday shooting. Authorities say Watkins and another man got into a fight with the victim when gunfire was exchanged. Watkins and the other unnamed suspect fled the scene. The victim later died at the hospital. It was nice to see the sun come out today, give us a chance to try and dry out. Doug Eddy joining us.
Yeah, after all the rain that we have had over the past couple days, it was nice to dry out a little bit on the chilly side though. This is the last weekend of May. Of course, it's Memorial Weekend. We should be into the 80s for this time of the year, but it's nice out. We got partly cloudy skies. We have some cumulus clouds, which have been kind of skirting through during the afternoon hours, but really nothing going on across the entire Central Plains. A little cool, 16 Nevada, 58 in Stockton. And then as you head down toward Grand Lake, we're sitting mid to upper 60s, but about a 7-8 degree spread from north to south. A little breezy. We have these north winds at about 5 to 10 to about 15 that make it feel a little bit cooler than what it actually is. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 60s, 50s. Check this out, mid 40s for overnight lows tonight. Of course, we're going to look into the holiday weekend, and when are we going to warm up here in just a bit?
All right, Doug, thank you. Well, after Thursday's heavy rain and flooding, some vehicle owners are dealing with water damage. One Joplin auto shop says they've been extra busy. Nixon's Garage in Joplin usually tows on average 1 vehicle every 2 hours. Yesterday, they towed 8 within 6 hours. Now, they say they're mainly dealing with damage the flooding caused to engines.
Several of the cars that we towed yesterday or that we brought into the shop went through the water. The water is ingested through the air filter and up into the engine. It can fill up the cylinders and cause the engine to hydrolock, which can do severe internal engine damage.
Experts say when water is ingested through a vehicle's air filter, it can cause severe damage to the engine. They recommend drivers be cautious when driving in flooded areas in the future to prevent this. Joplin Little League will have to find a new spot to play ball, at least for a couple of weeks. Last night's flooding damaged the ball fields at Landreth Park. 2 of the fields could be cleaned up and reopen in just 2 weeks. One of the fields might never reopen. Joplin Little League will have to replace much of the field's dirt, and they could use some help on Saturday.
Well, they'll be postponed and be played somewhere, whether it's on one of our other fields. We have a senior league field that's too big for regular Little League, but we can, move the bases and things like that, but it really will stretch the season.
Little League officials aren't sure how much the repairs will cost, but say it will at least be $1,800. Campgrounds and campers are getting ready for what could be a great weekend to get outdoors, but Thursday's heavy rains could throw a wrench in some of the plans. KOAM's Zach Dodge has the story.
Spending time in the sun with family and good friends. For Mary Barrett and her crew, rain wasn't going to keep them from it.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great next 3 days.
They plan to play ball, spend time around the campfire, and hit the water, if the water cooperates.
And we're ready for it to go down so we can go kayaking, and we're going to wait until Sunday.
Heavy rains on Thursday caused rivers and creeks to rise several feet, spilling in the campgrounds like Big Elk floats and camping.
Most of our B section is still underwater, and so they're not available right now, and it's a kind of a disappointment.
Memorial Day weekend is not only their opening weekend, but their busiest weekend. with all of their spots being reserved a month out.
With the sun coming out today and it's drying things up, all of our RV sites are still available, and most of them are still coming in.
Beverly Snyder at Indian Summer Campground in Anderson was in the same boat just this morning.
The majority of the campground was underwater and like with a current running through it, kind of a river running through it.
But it has dried up and campers are coming in.
It goes down about as quickly as it comes up.
So now a lot of what happens this weekend will depend entirely on what the water wants to do.
We had a dozen kayaks booked, and I even if they want to, I don't think I would want anybody to, because I don't think it'll be safe.
Hoping to be able to float tomorrow, but only anybody knows.
While it would be disappointing if they can't hit the water, Barrett's still gonna have a good time and go with the flow.
That's the main thing, enjoying time with our family.
In McDonald County, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Now, if you do plan to visit our local rivers or streams this weekend, we have a way for you to check their levels on our website. You just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. First Lady Jill Biden was in Kansas City this week. It was part of an effort to get more Americans vaccinated. She toured the vaccination clinic at Metropolitan Community College's Penn Valley campus.
This is the best way to get us all back to the weddings and the homecomings and, you know, the concerts, everything that we've missed for really the whole year.
Now, before traveling to KCMO, Biden first made a stop in Grand Rapids, Michigan to tour the vaccination clinic at Grand Rapids Community College's downtown campus. The Remember the Rise event to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre has been canceled. It was supposed to take place in Tulsa this weekend and feature John Legend and Stacey Abrams. Event organizers say it was canceled because of unexpected circumstances with entertainers and speakers. They say they hope to reschedule for later this year. On May 31st, 1921, hundreds of residents from Tulsa's predominantly black Greenwood district were killed, and the neighborhood was left in ashes. Earlier this week, the Department of Homeland Security issued a warning of potential racial violence leading up to the anniversary. A DHS bulletin said events associated with the anniversary could be targets for extremist white supremacists. DHS says there are no specific or credible threats at this time. Still ahead, a Southeast Kansas veteran killed in the attack on Pearl Harbor is returned home. And preparations for Memorial Day ceremony at Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City. A Fort Scott man killed in action during the attack on Pearl Harbor has come home. William Barnett was buried today at the Fort Scott National Cemetery. Barnett was 21 years old when he was killed during the attack. Today's burial gives the family some closure.
For my grandmother especially, who for so many years just couldn't accept the fact that Buzz had been killed. They always talked about him as missing in action. So she figures, okay, missing, he's out there somewhere. And she fully believed for so many years that there'd be a knock at the door and Buzz would be there.
Barnett was buried with full military honors. The remains of another area veteran have been returned to the U.S. Remains turned over to the U.S. by North Korea have been identified as those of Private First Class Bill Hobbs from South Coffeyville, Oklahoma. Hobbs was 20 when he was reported missing in action on November 30th, 1950, after his unit was attacked near the Chosin River in North Korea. His remains will be returned for burial scheduled for June 26th in Coffeyville, Kansas. Leading into Memorial Day weekend, a number of volunteers from Easter Seals Midwest and Avalon Hospice joined veterans to place flags on the graves of other veterans at the Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City. More than 1,500 flags were placed in the cemetery, and some of the oldest veteran graves date back to World War I.
You know, our veterans sacrificed so much over the years to give us the freedoms we have. It's something we have to do. It's something we do because we want to, but it's something that needs to be done, and people need to recognize our veterans more each year for the things that they do.
On Memorial Day, 3 veterans' cremains will be interned at Mount Hope Cemetery at 10 a.m. We take time now to honor a local veteran. Bobby Lee served in the U.S. Army during World War II, his hometown, Jasper, Missouri. We are proud to salute Bobby Lee. He's tonight's four-state hero. Later, the Frontenac Raiders take on Anderson County in the state semifinals. We'll have those highlights in sports.
Plus, we're drying out, but it is a little bit chilly out there. What about the holiday weekend? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, we got a chance to dry out for us today, but still kind of cool across the region behind the cold front that rolled through last night that, of course, gave us all the severe weather and the heavy amounts of rain across the region on Thursday. No rain today, but look at the month. With the rain that we've seen over the past 2 weeks, thankfully not much severe weather. We've only had 2 events in the entire month of May, which is very atypical, but over 7 inches of rain for the month. For the year, we're over 23 inches. We average 18, so we're actually above normal by over 5 inches of rain. Of course, majority of that occurred yesterday, but quite a bit of rain. Look at our temps, near 60, even upper 50s in our northern counties, which is very atypical for late May. We should be topping out well into the 80s. 61 in Pittsburgh, 66 in Miami. I want you to head down toward Grand Lake, sitting at 67, then Cassville sitting at 63 degrees. Yates Center a little cool at 62. North winds at about 10 to 15, so this makes it feel a little chillier, but in general, it looks like we're going to have a pretty good evening. Looks good right now. We have a few little cumulus clouds out there. Currently, 7th and Rangeline sitting at 63. North winds 5 to 10. Humidity is checking in at 63%. All right, through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 60s, 50s, eventually all the way down into the mid-40s for overnight lows, which is kind of cold across the region. We are dry. We have a few little cumulus clouds which have been shooting through, but besides that, not too much is going on across the Central Plains. You have to travel west before you find really any rain, or down through parts of Texas, as this whole storm system that did roll through is heading away from us. Our next little system, it's a weak little wave. It's out across the western parts of the U.S., but it's going to jump over the Rockies and head in late Sunday into Monday, and that will change our weather up just a little bit as we head down the road. At least for tonight, we're okay. It's just chilly, mid-40s, partly sunny skies. We're looking at Saturday afternoon, maybe a notch or two warmer than what we saw today. 64 by noon, high temp right around 68. We're still going to have the north winds at about 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, chilly again, upper 40s, but a little bit warmer on Sunday, as we should pop up into the lower 70s for highs. So if you're heading to do any outdoor activities, especially around water, so pools or rivers or the lake, it's going to be kind of cool from Stockton Lake, Table Rock over toward Grand Lake. Clouds increase on Sunday. We may get a few showers in here late Sunday, and then better chances as we head into Memorial Day itself. So here's late Sunday. You can see a weak little wave kind of rolls in, gives us showers, maybe a few thunderstorms. Monday into Tuesday, and really even into Wednesday on the backside of this system. So we are going to get more showers, more thunderstorms. It doesn't look like extremely heavy amounts of rain as we head into next week, Sunday through Monday. But here's the good news. Severe threat overall is fairly low, so we don't have to worry about much in the way of severe weather as we go through at least the first half of next week. That could change by next weekend. 68 for us tomorrow, 72 on Sunday, 70 on Memorial Day itself, but overall, most of the holiday weekend looks good.
Yeah, the weekend's looking pretty good for some hot dogs and brats coming up, so.
There you go. Get out the grill.
Exactly.
Enjoy
it's not
it.
going to be too hot. That way when you're grilling, you can stay warm.
There you go.
Doug, thank you so much. Well, the Spring Carnival is back at Joplin's North Park Mall. The free event features all the classic carnival attractions, rides, games, and food. It's free admission to get in, but you do have to pay for the rides and the games. Now, the fun goes until 10 o'clock tonight, and the carnival will remain in town until next Sunday, which will be June the 6th. Well, coming up in sports, Frontenac baseball and Colgan softball aim to win state championships this afternoon, and the NCBA World Series begins today in Pittsburgh. Jacob Leonard is up next with the details.
Way of life.
The Frontenac Raiders are in the state baseball semifinals today. And the Raiders opened the tournament with a big 17-3 win over Heston in the quarterfinals last night. This afternoon, Frontenac faces Anderson County in the semifinals. The winner goes to the 3A championship. At top of the first, Brett Cleland sends it to right for the RBI triple. Raiders lead by 1 after 1. To the fourth now, Lane Sullivan knocks it out to right. That allows Colin McCartney to tag up and head home. Game tied at 2. Top of the fifth now, Raiders back down, but Alex Williams gets it through the left side. Mario Mangini crosses home. We go to extras, tied at 4. Bottom of the eighth, though. Tough ending here for Frontenac. Ashton Miller drills it to right. That gets down and allows a run to score. Walk-off win for Anderson County. Frontenac falls in the semifinals 5-4. So Frontenac has to turn right around after that and play for third place against Minneapolis. That one just finished up. The Raiders win it 7-5 to take third at state. We'll have highlights from that one and post-game reaction tonight at 10. The Colgan softball team on the field today aiming for back-to-back state championships. The Panthers did it. They beat Burlingame 6-0 to claim the 2A title. Caitlin Crossland throws a complete game shutout with 10 strikeouts. She also had a 2-run homer in the championship game. It's the third state championship in program history. Well, today is the opening day of the NCBA Division I World Series in Pittsburgh. It's an 8-team field featuring the best collegiate club baseball teams in the country. The tournament starts today with 4 games at Pitt State's Al Ortolani Field. The championship game will be next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The NCBA kind of likes Pittsburgh. It's the 7th consecutive year the organization has had a World Series in town.
We absolutely love it. I mean, the field, the facilities, we use JC Ballpark for several years, but we've come to Pittsburgh State a few times because of weather issues, and we're treated like royalty out here. I mean, the community's great. They really rally around this event, and we've been here since, like you said, 2015. We plan on, continuing our relationship into the future.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Honda.
Jordan Obby joins us now with what's coming up on the KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, there's been an increase of stolen catalytic converters, and the Kansas Attorney General has a warning for dealers of those stolen catalytic converters. Plus, a look at all the different types of preparations underway for Memorial Day weekend and how the food items for this weekend's barbecue are going to cost more this year. That and much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 and Fox 14.
Billions of cicadas are emerging for the first time in 17 years. They're out and about in the Washington, D.C. area, including on Capitol Hill. Check out CNN's chief congressional correspondent Manu Raju when he noticed a cicada crawling onto his neck during a live shot.
So am I going to be in the break? I mean, same block out of this, or are you going to take a break? Okay.
Oh my God.
I have to say that'd probably be about my reaction. I don't do bugs so well. I may not have even held it together as well as him.
Yeah. Never want something like that happening, do you?
No.
Whether on air or not.
No, exactly. And my luck is that it happened on air. There'd be some bee or something that'd show up. Doug joining us for final check of that forecast.
All right, kind of chilly tonight. Mid-40s for overnight lows, 68 tomorrow.
All right, Doug, thank you. It's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.
See news happening? Tell us.